Ready to go? Okay. My name's Ken Wilson. I haven't been here in a while. I'm from Perkins Law Group, and I'm always honored to be here. I it's interesting at this point in time. My daughter actually just completed a program, Alice Walton's Art Bridges program in Bentonville. So, we have a lot of interest right now in art museums and that kind of thing. It was a wonderful program that she has down there, and she was excited. And actually, the DIA contacted her, and she had a short meeting, so it was very exciting to her. With that, we're going to take things a little bit out of order. We'll do the roll call first. And then, as indicated, we're going to have a vote for someone to actually run the meeting. So, without further ado, I'll just take the roll call now. Betty Misaraka, Cara Clementi.
Here.
Pierre Hayden.
Present.
Lolita Haley.
Present.
Hubert Massey. Barbara Miller.
Present.
Byron Osborne. Renata Seals.
Present.
Okay.
We have a quorum present.
And with that, I would make a motion to move things out of order, and that would be under new business is number 2, election of board officers. I'm sorry. And I would move that be made the first order of or I'd ask that someone make a motion that be the first order of business. I guess for now, I can probably make that motion, given that we don't have someone officially responsible for running the meeting. So I would make that motion.
I don't believe that. I'm sorry, this is Pamela. I don't believe you can make that motion. Is Felicia on the line?
Felicia is on the line, and actually I was just about to call Shantae, who's sitting there. Only a member can make the motion. So what we need right now is a member to make a motion and another member to second to actually appoint a temporary chair. And then once that temporary chair is approved and appointed, then they can move forward with the rest of the agenda. And then once you elect your officers, if any officer term becomes effective immediately, which I think the vice chair term would be immediately, and Octavia can confirm that for me, then that vice chair can officially take over. But right now, we need a member to make a motion to have someone temporarily run this meeting.
I will make the motion to have, do I have to name the person then?
Yes, somebody.
Okay. To make Barbara Rogel Miller the runner of the meeting.
Need a second?
Second.
Ken, you can't second. A member has to second.
Second.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Preston to serve as vice.
Because of the confidence everyone has in you.
Okay. All right, the roll call is over. So the next thing that we're going to do is I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda. Anybody make that motion?
Excuse me, Ms. Miller. Ms. Miller,
We wait to hear election of
Yep.
officers. So.
Oh, okay. All right. Change in the agenda, change in the order of business. The first thing that we're going to do is have an election of the board officers. I'll entertain a motion and then we'll discuss it and then a second and vote on it. Okay, so election of officers.
Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we have Vice Chairperson, Pierre Hayden.
I can barely hear you.
I'm sorry, can you hear me now?
I can.
All right, I'd like to make a motion that we have Vice Chairperson Pierre Hayden.
Is there a second?
I second that.
Motion and second, any discussion? All right, so shall we do all of the nominations and then a vote, or vote on each one as they occur?
Each one as they occur.
Okay, so there was a motion and a second for the nomination of vice chair. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, and so the vice chair is
Pierre Hayden.
Pierre Hayden. So Pierre Hayden, you're going to take my role because you're vice chair and Betty Mizuraka is not here. Oh, I'm getting another bit of advice here.
It's going, so then that'll need to be added to the agenda, so it'll have to be approved as.
Sorry.
Absolutely. You want the agenda, we have to the agenda, the small business tax exemption that we spoke about this meeting, and Ken was going to handle that. Add that to it and speak to it.
Morning. We're gonna move to approve the agenda, but we're gonna make a
We gotta
smaller.
finish the officers first, don't we?
No, we,
Because the number 2 was moved to number 1.
we were gonna, did you guys wanna finish that then? Okay, so we're gonna finish, thank you. We're gonna finish the officers. We're gonna go to next is recording secretary. Do we have any nominations as far as recording secretary? Oh, we don't wanna dismiss our chair. We need to have a motion as far as who's gonna be elected chair. Any nominations for chair?
Betty Mizuraka through the chair. Betty Mizuraka's not here, so advise us, how do we do that?
Okay, what are the votes we actually need to take at this point in time? I'm filling in here. But we have a motion to have the election of board officers prior to approval of the agenda and the other things on the items on that we see here. That motion was approved. Which board officers terms have expired, and as a result, we need to have elections. You're saying that recording secretary hasn't expired at this point?
I'm sorry, none of the terms are expired. They expire on the 12th of this month, so they will commence on the 13th of August through the 12th of August of 2026. So we do need to have nominees and election nominees for the remaining officers.
Okay, so then we'll proceed, Mr. Vice Chair. Why don't you then, you made a motion to have the for nominations for the recording secretary. Has there been a second for that motion?
I second the motion.
For whom?
I'm sorry,
No, this is just to
If-
hold the election.
if I may, through the chair, I would like to make a motion to keep our chairperson the same, Betty Mizuraka, our recording secretary, the same as, and it is Betty Miller, our correspondence secretary, the same, Renata Seals, and the treasurer, Lolita Haley. Keeping them the same, if I could make that motion.
I second that.
I don't see why we can't have such a motion.
Okay.
Is that okay, Octavia?
Just 1 second, let me confirm with council.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Let's move on to this.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Okay, we're gonna,
I'm sorry, just for our assistant here, we want to just make sure she has it clear. Our chairperson was Betty Mizaraka. Our recording secretary, Barbara Rogel Miller, corresponding secretary, Renata Sills, and our treasurer is Lolita Haley.
we're gonna move to the approval of the agenda with making. Making an addition to adding a small tax exemption from our last meeting to this agenda. Need a motion?
We need a motion support to amend the agenda to add the small business tax exemption. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
I'm just gonna-
Any discussion regarding that?
Okay.
Any abstentions?
Motion approved.
Motion approved. Approval of the June 25th meeting minutes.
Just elected,
1 year.
1 year,
Yeah.
okay.
Moving to the approval of the June 25th.
A motion to approve?
Or
Any discussion? All in favor?
aye.
Aye. Any abstentions? Okay. Motion approved. Report from the chair. There's none. Any unfinished business? None. New business? Our half-year review from the DIA. You guys are up?
Fantastic, thank you. If you haven't heard, I just wanted to excuse the Executive Director of Public Affairs and Community Engagement, Julie McFarland, who y'all know and generally expect to be here presenting, is at a family funeral today, so please excuse her absence. I'll be filling you in on our half-year update in her absence. So if we can pull up the slide deck so we have some pretty pictures to look at while we tell the story. Is there the PowerPoint slide deck rather than the PDF? And so there is in your folder, you'll see a printed version of the PowerPoint, so you don't have to strain your necks if you're not within eyeshot. And there also is a more expanded, as always, a narrative report in your folders that kind of goes into a little more depth on all of those points. There's other things in your folders too, such as some promotional things. We'll get into that too, but the main two elements are the narrative report and the visual of the PowerPoint, and we have it here. Right, and we can just dive straight into the overview of benefits. As always, just wanted to frame the work that we're doing with these 4 categories: the free general admission, that's unlimited for residents of Wayne County any day we're open. We welcome visitors in. There's a school program, a senior program, and community partnership programs, an array of partnership programs. So let's dive into free admission. The next slide, please. As I said, unlimited free general admission for Wayne County residents. So far, from January to June of this year, we've had over 60,000 Wayne County residents visit the museum with that free admission. Once in the door, there's a lot to do. So that includes art making activities in the studio and in the galleries. There's a wide array of performances, from puppet shows to music to lectures that can be seen in the museum. And there's, of course, special exhibitions, all of which that we've had recently have been free with that general admission. And we'll go over some of those exhibitions at the end of this deck. But moving on to our school program, we are making good progress towards our annual commitment of 26,000 students for the calendar year. So far at half year, we've had 13,500 students, almost 250 field trips coming through the door. There is a list of schools that have come through the door in your narrative report. It's quite a long list. As I said, there's over 13,000 students have come already. But in addition to the field trip program for K-12 students, we also have an in-school pilot program that is underway. A lot of work has been done in Wayne County through a few different districts to be in an array of schools. Really, if you look, we're in Belleville and Edgemont Elementary, Savage Elementary, Owen Elementary, Chapman Elementary, Hunter Elementary, and Brownstown, Ronald Brown Academy in Detroit, and Fisher Magnate Lower Academy in Detroit. That's just through June, and there's a whole list of schools coming up this year. In addition to working with some districts for the pilot program, we wanted to keep the work going throughout the summer. So there's some partnership with the Detroit Public Schools Community District to be in some summer programs to keep the program active throughout the summer too. We also have educated professional development throughout the year. So far, 300 Wayne County educators have participated in those events. And there is a list of those events also in your report. There's several coming up throughout the year. All right, well, we can move on to the senior program, which we do have a commitment of bringing in 60 bus groups. 60,000 is a little unmanageable, but we're well on track. We've got 31 groups that have already visited this year, with over 1,000 Wayne County residents coming for either group tours or self-guided experiences if they prefer, or to participate in our Melodies at the Museum program, which is the monthly musical program that we hold in our Detroit Film Theater auditorium every month. And another part of our senior program is also behind the scene lectures. So if groups can't make it to the museum, we'll send a teaching volunteer to a community location to give a talk. There's around 20 different subjects that community groups can choose from. Those are hosted at libraries or rec centers, community centers. We'll actually send somebody out to give that talk, which gives some insights into the collection, frames the collection in a number of different ways, hopefully inspires visits. But again, it's meant to give a full cultural experience to people who might not be able to make it down. So those are popular. We've already had 20 of those in the first half of the year. About 350 residents have participated in behind the scene art talks. And you'll continue to get invited to our Melodies at the Museum program. Again, that's the monthly music program. Generally, it's a live musical performance. In October, there's a special one that's a live musical score for a silent movie. For October, it's Nosferatu. So I'm really excited to see how that plays out. If you've never seen a live musical score for a silent film, it's more entertaining than I ever imagined, because I've gotten to see it through this program myself, and it's really a special thing that we do. So maybe you should come down and celebrate Halloween with us. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're always welcome. We bring in as many groups as we can, facilitate through the doors in that time. So, but the auditorium is large and there are seats for everybody. So you won't get turned away if you show up, even if you're not part of a group. You can join us. All right, we're going to move on to the biggest category we have here, which is community partnership programs. I'll go into a few of the varieties of partnership programs, starting with Inside Out, because it is one of our most visible and popular programs every year. There's a list of partners that include River Rouge, Van Buren Township, Grosse Ile, Palmer Park. We're in the Grosse Pointe region, so we're in all of the Grosse Pointes with a few pieces this year. For the first time, we're at Schoolcraft College in Livonia. We're also in Palmer Park and along the Avenue of Fashion. So we're happy to be able to create this kind of cluster between Avenue of Fashion, Palmer Park, and U of D Mercy. So there's a lot happening in that area this year in District 2. We're also always on the campuses of Wayne County Community College. And we also have some pieces at the Bridget Harris Cancer Pavilion, and also, of course, at the Warren C. Evans Terminal at DTW. So we are all over Wayne County this year, and we are currently receiving applications for our next season. So if you have any areas in mind, please encourage communities to participate by applying on our website. You can go to dia.org/insideout, and there's an application there for Wayne County. Because the work for this goes on all year. We're starting to do the planning for next summer already. So looking forward to hopefully some applications coming in maybe through your networks there too, because we just love a variety of applications for that program.
Excuse me.
Yeah,
If I could just intervene for the Palmer Woods Avenue of Fashion, Detroit Mercy area. I noticed that you called it District 2. That's just for the city of Detroit, and because we're doing county business here, it is District 5.
oh,
Okay,
okay.
I just wanted to let you know.
All
that.
right, I apologize, yeah.
And for the that is Angelique Mayberry district, Peterson's district. At this time, she just got that office because of the passing of Irma Clark Coleman, just for the record, so people will understand.
No,
that
fair
they
point.
do cross. Okay.
Fair point, yeah.
Okay.
The
I have a question. Can I ask a question on this program? So we brought up the city of Detroit. How do you look at, because there is districts as the city, and then there's commission districts, which we were just talking about. When, let's say I represent Southwest Detroit and they put in, how does it work for Detroit, like applications? How should
yeah,
how should they put it in? I guess that's what I'm asking.
that's a good question. I mean, it can come in any variety of ways. We did get some interest from the city District 2 representative's office. So for that area, but we get applications. It might be, it's going to be whoever can have feet on the ground to help select those locations and communicate with, if there's business owners that are going to have to sign on to participate, or other municipal bodies that need to sign off on locations. So it's really going to be different, but depending on the community that's applying. Detroit's really unique just because of its geographic size and its population in relation to the surrounding areas. So we assess the applications as they come in, or respond to the inquiries as they come in. And we kind of often, depending on what the applications are, it might be a neighborhood block club that's applying in a certain year. And we'll consider that in terms of when we've been in that region the last or most recently, or how it fits in to our geographic spread among the county. So just knowing how large Detroit is, we kind of take those applications in bits and pieces. We don't necessarily want, I don't think we've gotten an application just for Detroit at large, the entire city. It might be a little bit of a missed opportunity to try to spread around the entire city at once. So taking it piece by piece creates these little pocket experiences where people can see multiple pieces and have more of a neighborhood experience.
Ian, do you have a breakdown of like maybe areas we're missing that maybe we could either connect with city officials or commission people, if you wouldn't mind sending that
Absolutely.
to? Because I know you do a great job of trying to, have to get the applications first, but then trying to spread it throughout all of Wayne County. But if we're missing an area, maybe if we have connections, we could talk to someone.
No,
That'd be great.
That's a great point. Yeah.
Thank you.
We consider applications after about 3 years of not participating in the program. A community can reapply, but we'll prioritize communities that either haven't participated at all or haven't participated as recently as other applications, but also geographic spread is an important part of that. So we definitely we're still receiving applications. I'll check in with our community engagement manager team and see where our applications currently are. We'll do some plotting and kind of see where it stands, and absolutely gather some input from this group to help fill in some of those areas where we might not have organically got an application. So this is kind of the organic period where it's open to the public and people can apply. And oftentimes the people that seek that out on their own are really, really great partners who are eager to participate. But every year there is a little bit of outreach done to try to again, plug some of the holes that we're noticing in that. So we encourage people to apply, and we always get a few applications through that process too. So it's kind of the second wind of applications to make sure the program looks good on the map for 2026. So I'll follow up with where we currently stand on that.
One quick question so you guys have data as far as where in the city that you guys are getting the applications from?
Yeah, it's a form on our website, so anybody could actually fill it out. So it could be a librarian, it could be.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
yeah.
You guys have data of where you guys are getting these pockets of participants from the city?
So it depends on, it'll be whatever is entered into that form. So generally, there's some sort of geographic location in there that it's not just the city of Detroit. It'll be someone on behalf of Palmer Park, for example, applying, saying we'd love to host it in the park. We do get a lot of parks and rec departments applying. But yeah, I mean, we haven't had an issue. If we did get an application just generally from the city of Detroit, there would definitely need to be some further questioning to install the artworks, because it is that would be a little broad. But generally the applications are a little more specific.
So I understand that if they apply, my question is the outreach efforts for that. I'm surprised to not see Hines Park on here at all. And I know that if they apply, but if they don't know to apply or how to apply, who's over the outreach efforts to these different communities? And I am saying outside of Detroit, because I know that there are efforts in Detroit, obviously.
Yeah.
But just outside of Detroit, Hines Park, they have so many things going on, and that's just Hines Park. But I'm concerned with the outreach efforts for community partners.
Right. It is a group effort. So the Public Affairs Community Engagement team has our partners that we've worked with in the past, or community partners we've met at community events. We kind of have our contact database that we push it out to. When that application opens, we just let everybody know, share it, either apply or share it with someone you know who might be interested. But also our marketing team is pushing it on more public channels through social media and promoting it kind of at that higher level than just our contacts, our database that we have. But we also share the application information with commissioners and always are encouraging people to spread that around. So kind of force multiply our contacts into kind of spread the web a little bit. So generally, it's not, our outreach isn't just you should apply. It's generally, please tell everyone you know who you think might want to apply. So the goal is to just, yeah, spread it beyond our reach as
Okay.
much as possible, but always open to new applications, new ideas. If you all think any community should get it soon, and definitely share that, make the connection, or just let us know. We can do some outreach and see if there's interest in the community. Of course, we can't force participation, but we can certainly encourage people and hopefully help them understand that a lot of the back end work is falling on the DIA, and we're just looking for that community partner to point us in the right direction and tell us where the community would see these artworks and where they'd look best and be most utilized. So, but the DIA is going to do the back end work. I think that might be a deterrent for some people who think they're not up for the task, but again, this is our community engagement team running this program and getting everything together so it goes up seamlessly in the spring.
And the reason I asked, the DIA is currently in District 5 of the city. And when I reached out to District 5 is is the largest district in the city, part of the city, one of the most heavily populated. So when I reached out to some community groups, regarding, the access and programming for the DIA, it was almost drawing a blank behind it.
Yeah.
And I would just think that since the DIA sends it District 5 and use it as a conduit of reaching out to the entire county, it would probably be beneficial if we start from where the DIA is geographically located
Yeah.
and with those heavily populated communities.
Well, that's great. I'll double check, make sure we get the District 5 representative all the information they need to kind of spread that around the district. Yeah, that'd be helpful. I'll double check that we have the right contact. If not, I'll reach out to you and try to get the best person. Great.
We can give you access to those communities, so you don't even have to go
That's-
to city government.
That's
You can
great.
Have access to those communities.
Love to hear that.
Right.
Thanks for that.
Question. I'm sorry, could you explain to me the blue car mentorship program? That's part of the pilot program. I just wasn't familiar with the blue car. But thanks too for the program. I'm impressed with this. I'm excited. But I just wasn't
Yeah.
familiar with that one or the community district summer academy. And me, for one, if I had to go to summer school, I wasn't excited about you or nobody. But maybe you could touch on that to explain to me what those two programs look like.
Yeah, so for the in-school pilot program in this summer, that program is driven by our studio department. There's hands-on art making component to that. So for the summer, that relationship is through, my understanding is that the Blue Car program, I'm sorry, I'm blanking, what's the exact phrase? That Blue Car is a program through the Detroit Public School Community District Summer Academy, which is their kind of their summer afternoon enrichment program. And so it was taking advantage of this existing enrichment program and using the DIA resources to provide that experience for them, for this existing group, rather than opening a door and seeing who comes in. It's how can we assist the existing program to give them a really good art experience. Yeah. So the in-school program is still in this pilot phase where we're figuring out exactly what works best through the art enrichment component, which is more just conversational about art, and then the hands-on component. And just to not weaken those muscles throughout the summer, the studio did the extra work to make sure that we were engaging with those summer school programs so they could keep working all year.
They don't have access to a lot of things. Thank you.
All right. Well, so we can move on to our Partners in Public Art mural program, which is in progress this year. There's an image on the screen there of previous completed work in Wyandotte that turned out great. Down below, you see a bunch of blank walls that are just begging for something. So we have partnered with Dearborn, Trenton, and the city of Wayne this year to create public works of art on these walls. They're in progress with the goal of being completed by the end of this calendar year. I know I've seen some preliminary design ideas for Dearborn and for Trenton, I believe. So they're in progress. Once those designs are approved by the community, the work starts going pretty fast, depending on the artist. But it's a collaborative program, so it starts with gathering community input about what the community thinks would represent themselves on these walls. Through gathering that input, will let the community say what they think they're all about. And then from there, help connect them with an artist. If a community has an artist in mind, we'll do our best to help facilitate using that artist. That's great when that happens. We love when communities kind of know what they want, and we're happy to just help make it happen. But if they don't know, and a lot of times they don't have an idea they don't know any muralists. So we'll actually connect them with an artist or propose an artist and find someone they're happy with, often based on the survey results. So if the surveys are asking for really a certain type of art, because murals could range from very abstract to very representational. And so depending on what the community is saying they feel they're about, we'll try to find an artist that might make that work. And then there's a design phase where the DI will have a look at it, make sure we're comfortable with. The community will have some input. There's often a few back and forth adjustments to those designs before they go on the wall. And that's kind of where we are right now for this year's program, is that conversation around proposed designs. But once paint goes on walls, some artists, depending on their medium, I mean, they will fill a whole wall in a week. Other artists' technique involves could be several weeks or a month. But so it's all very fluid depending on the artist that we're working with. But you'll be getting some invitations for some celebrations to see the actual final beautiful results. Hopefully when the weather's still good.
So just quick question for, because we are going over the half-year review. At this time, none have been completed?
No. So the work for these have started later last year, or actually it might have been around this time last year. It's an open application similar to Inside Out, where
I'm sorry, I'm not asking about the application. We're doing a mid-year review for this year.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to understand that none of these projects for the mural program have been completed this year, and it's August. So you are looking to complete these 3 at the
Yeah.
bottom?
Yes,
Okay.
that's the goal. So yeah, a lot of the background work leading up to putting paint on the wall is really underway and making good progress on those designs. So once everybody at the city level signs off and says that's what we want to see on the wall, it's a process of a lot of back and forth, some redesigns on the artist's part. But once that stamp of approval is done, the paint can go up really fast. So it's always surprising after months and months and months of planning. They get started, and a week later, you've got this kind of beautiful thing that hopefully will stand there for decades to come. So, yeah, it's worth all the planning. But yes, you're right. There's no paint on the wall as of now. Fingers crossed it'll start soon. We're working with individual artists that have different schedules. They're working artists, so they're doing summer fairs. They're taking other jobs. So making sure we can lock in on their schedule sometimes is a challenge. But yes, we'll have 3 murals being painted this year.
Chair, if I may interrupt. You said there's an open application. Where do we find it? Just on the DIA
Yeah.
website?
Yeah, you can find it at dia.org. I believe if you type /PIPA, P-I-P-A.
Thank you. Thank you.
You can get directly there. And that application, we actually just keep open. We're going to be doing a push to encourage more applicants, make people aware on a more public level that it's available. But that application has been on our website and it hasn't closed. We're just a rolling application. So the goal is to do 3 murals a year. But if we can get a queue going, that's even better, because if a community doesn't work out or city council has some changed minds about the location, it holds us up, we might have a backup applicant that we can bring in early. So please encourage people who might want a mural in their community to apply and get in the queue. The goal is to do one in every community in Wayne County. So it's not a matter of if you get a mural, it's just a matter of when. And so hopefully people start lining up for that and we can start the planning.
But per the service agreement, we agreed to three
Three
murals. Okay.
Correct.
With that service agreement, is it possible for you guys to start allocating a certain time of the year as far as when these murals go up? Because it's not just putting up a mural, you know, the event leading up to the mural can actually be very impactful for a lot of community groups. So is it any way you guys can say during May through June, this is when it's going to be executed of going up, and the whatever remaining time is when we're going through the application process or everything else as far as selecting a community and selecting the artist, so we can have more concrete things that we can actually solicit back to the communities where these things are going up at?
Yeah, that is a wonderful thought that I know our community programs manager would love herself to be the case. And she started this work last summer, really trying to encourage applications, select locations. There's a lot of variables in this program, to my understanding, and I'm just kind of an observer of all the hard work that somebody else is doing on this program. But there's so many variables, one of the biggest being the artists. And so if a community says we want this artist, we really want, and sometimes they have saying, this is our person, we want them to be doing our painting. That artist might have other projects stacked up already and earlier in the summer. And so we definitely want to work with the community. I think that's part of the discussion of, you know, if we have them, it's going to be a little later. It has been the case that if the painting is completed too late in the year, we've had really cold celebrations, which is an option. Or other communities might opt to have the official celebration in this first thing in the spring, the following year, which, you know, isn't ideal, but it is a really case by case basis. There's other examples of planning going through pretty far in before something maybe comes up at the municipality level, or somebody else has an opinion about a location, or something changes with that location. So there's a lot of variables that are really unpredictable. I know everybody on our side would love to have, as you suggested, more of a controlled timeline. We're working towards trying to streamline it as best we can, since we've really ramped up efforts on this program recently. So shooting for 3 a year, it really does make sense to try to have it locked into a timeline like that. But as of now, my understanding is it's really hard to get that timeline.
Well, per the service agreement, what we've agreed to until next year, when we vote on the service agreement again, if that is a problem, that is something that we need to note, because if there are changes that need to be made for the service agreement, that causes a greater issue if those requirements aren't met for this next year. So I understand the logistics, and we don't get into the governance of how you do your work at the DIA, but per the service agreement, it has to be 3 per year. And if it's not met in the first year, then we know that that's something that should be reviewed differently and would have to be changed. And that can cause greater issues with the service agreement. Okay.
Fair point.
Yeah, and I would just paint like 2007 should be planned now, like far as working a year ahead of,
Yeah.
like we shouldn't be planning for 2000. Like, I'm just thinking 2026 should have been planned last year, as far as what community, at least identifying the community. Now, the artist, I can get it, but if we actually get it into the community hands and I guess even with our conversation last year, because I think something like this inspirational should be dictated by the community it's going to represent. And if the DIA is embedded in these communities, it makes your job easier. It makes all of our work easier, where we're not delaying on projects per the service agreement or outside the scope of work, as far as what the DIA is trying to integrate within the communities. So
You're absolutely right. And that is our goal. That is part of the reason, I guess the primary reason that application, we don't even close it, because we want to get that queue going. It's been a challenge standing this up. The program wasn't as active until this year. We really launched into trying to complete 3. So our goal is to have a queue of interested communities so that we can start having those conversations, to your point, much earlier. So please encourage some applications to come in through our website, because we, as much as you, would love to kind of have that forward look about and start planning further in advance. It would make everybody's job a lot easier. You're absolutely right. Well, I love the enthusiasm around Partners Public Art. Yeah, hopefully we'll get years and years of interest kind of going forward. So yeah, it's just a matter of getting the word out. Like we said, once people see 3 new murals this year and we're promoting it and the media's putting out stories about it, I think that visibility will also lend itself to more participation and more applications. Now, in addition to Inside Out and Partners Public Art, though, we have a variety of other community partnership programs. So there is a slide for that kind of just captures an array of other things we do. That includes drop-in art making at fairs and festivals. We were just at Jazz on the Ave this weekend with the studio art making table. And there is a list of other community events in the report that we've been at. But there are generally 12 to 15 different events or dates that we meet the community where they're at. So it's things like Plymouth's Art in the Park, Detroit Book Fest, Jazz on the Ave. We're planning to be at Dearborn's Homecoming, Canton's Arttoberfest in September. So those are great opportunities to get in front of people and families and have an art making engagement, something that they can make and take with them, and hopefully get people excited about art and coming down to the DIA. But again, a good experience just in the community for people who aren't at the DIA. We also have our community group studio program, which brings human service agency groups from around the county to the museum to work on art projects in our studio. And that culminates in an exhibition every year of some of those works that those groups have completed. Really a beautiful show. We also bring in groups from libraries on bus trips or other community groups that have interest in coming to the museum. Will provide that access through transportation. We can arrange for tours of the collection if there's interest in that. Oftentimes groups are just interested in coming down to see one of the exhibitions. So it's really about access and breaking down that barrier by providing that bit of transportation and kind of opening the doors for people to come and see what we've got at the museum. Another big event that we do every year that just happened recently was Concert of Colors, giant music festival that happens on the grounds and inside of the museum. So we were happy to bring that back this year and seemed pretty successful. That kind of is a general idea of the sorts of things that we do in the community partnership programs. I guess beyond that, we can move to the next slide if there's not questions about that. There's a lot of exhibitions, and this ties back. We feel it kind of falls under the free general admission category, which is just stuff to do once you're in the museum. And that takes the form of a lot of exhibitions and special presentations of art. Of course, we've got a very long-standing partnership with DPSCD, and that exhibition was held in the spring. We just concluded the DIA portion of the Wayne County High School Art Exhibition. And as we speak, right outside these doors, some of those pieces are being installed here at the Guardian Building for an extended run. Some of the students elect into having their artworks transported here and installed for the month of August. So you'll be seeing some as we walk out of this room. And for the rest of this month, there's going to be some in the promenade and on a few different levels in the building. So you'll have something pretty to look at in August.
Quick question, with the community partnership programs, from from an internal audit from you guys' standpoint, what programs would you guys recommend changing or being modified as far as this upcoming year? Because I know, I mean, some of these things could have been huge hits, but some could have been misses. So is it anything that you guys are going to make modifications for going into this new year?
To that point, I think there's our kind of standing partnerships that are successful year over year. I mean, Inside Out has been for a long time a really popular program. So there's only plans to try to bring that to more people if possible. We talked about our mural program and we're really ramping that up. So the goal is to see that grow starting this year with those 3 completed works. The other things are a lot about access. So it's servicing people's desires as they present themselves to visit the museum. We're happy to provide that transportation. A lot of times, I know the Belleville Area Arts Council comes down with a group trip every year, and we're always happy to service those. So if that's an area where we'd love to grow, actually, is bringing more groups down to the museum. So if you have a group, the only limitation is just to get a free bus, it's 25 or more people. So that's true of our senior program. Senior groups can come down anytime they're interested. If they have 25 or more, they can get a bus. Same with community groups. If it's a nonprofit or a municipal group, then we can provide the bus as long as there's 25 people that want to come down. So I'm always happy to hear that there's a group coming. I try to meet and greet and say hello when I do hear that we've got community groups coming in. I would love to meet more of them, though. So if you have a group that wants to come for one of the exhibitions coming up this year, or just to see the collection, we'd be happy to help organize that. I think personally, I'd love to see that grow. But as far as our plan for the remainder of the year, it's locked in, and we'll do program planning and present a draft of the program plan for 2026 a little later in this year. And that'd be a great time to kind of get input from you all about how that's looking, or anything you want to see changed or added, or you think there's a spot that we could grow or shrink. So the program planning meeting at the end of the year, great opportunity to dive deeper into that.
Per your recommendation after the last meeting, you suggested I go to the art galleries, the 5 that are on Livernois, to talk to them about the high school, and they were really excited about that, but they wanted to find a better way to be with you in terms of creating the conversations about it. And I got a common question they all asked me about. They have curators or people that are collecting art and artists that wanted to know about restoration, because you probably know better than I that they're all old. All the real skills are dying. Don't nobody know how to do a lot of stuff. Some of them know how to frame, but if you're, restoration, you obviously can frame. So, but that's only the low hanging fruit. And as real small galleries, they don't have anyone to turn to. So while I was talking about engaging the high school students, because they have artists there and they were excited about that piece with Tiff that brings in the young folk. But each one of them, without me telling them what the other person said, they turned back to the dollars, starving artists or the restoration. They wanted to know how or who. I know this isn't necessarily a part of that, but if I'm now on Livernois talking to the galleries, they expect me to come back to ask, or who should they call? I didn't give them your name, but I know you the guy, because you told me to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Send people my way. Our conservation staff at the museum does a lot of advising for outside organizations. I know even in this report listed, they've worked with Wayne State University, U of MD on consultations about how to manage their collections. And so there's a wealth of wisdom at the museum, and we're pretty happy to share that with local groups. So if you have somebody that has questions, I'll do my best to connect them to the
I will send
person with the right
everybody,
answer.
those
Yeah.
art galleries right to your doorstep.
Yeah, all right.
Thank you.
All right, we could go to the next slide, which is special exhibition. This is a recap. So you've heard about these exhibitions, probably a couple times through our last meetings, but just a snapshot of things that had happened in the first half of the year. Painted with Silk, the art of early American embroidery, closed on June 15th. Beautiful show. I hope you were able to catch it because the pictures I put on the screen here don't do it justice, but if you didn't, too late. So, move on to the next slide. Another and a special exhibition that you had a lot of time, and I'm sure many of you had a chance to make it through. Tiff Massey, 7 Mile in Livernois, closed this May after a year-long run. I don't recall what are the final attendance numbers. It was a really blockbuster attendance figure that we had.
250,000 people came to see the show.
So very, very impressive turnout for that show. Sad to see it go. But we can talk about what's current and upcoming really briefly here. If we go to the next slide, we have currently guests of honor, Armor's Fashion. He's a painting and a few pieces of armor that are in our galleries on loan right now. There's also upcoming contemporary Anishinaabe art, a continuation that opens late September and runs through April of next year. So keep an eye out for that. It's going to be a big one. And then a couple of things related to our reconfiguring of our gallery space. In August, we'll open highlights from the modern collection. So as there's construction going on in some galleries, that some of fan favorites from the modern collection can be seen all in one space during that time. And then we're really excited about the reimagining of the African American art, which opens on October 18th. And hopefully it opens with a big bang, because this is a pretty big deal for the museum to be centralizing our African American art collection right off of Rivera Court, and hopefully putting it in a space where more people will find it and see it and appreciate it. And then we also have an upcoming community exhibition. Every year we have Ofrendas celebrating El Dia de Muertos. That opens in September. So very soon. So hopefully we'll see you around the museum for the month that's open. We'll start installations of those in just a few weeks. It's right around the corner. So hopefully we'll see you down for that. And I think that catches us up to speed. Oh, just a little highlight slide highlighting Concert of Colors that just happened July 16th through 20th, just to see the kind of crowds that turn out for some of those performances. Really special weekend at the museum. And that is all. Happy to take any questions.
Through the chair. I think I remember, but I just want to make sure. Did you say the ofrendas are now going to be throughout the whole museum and not just in one spot, right?
That's correct.
I think that's a great idea, because that will draw people to look at other things in the museum. Will there be a map to tell people where they're at?
Yes, there will. Yeah, that's related to the ongoing reconfiguration of our galleries. We got creative in a way that seems like it will be beneficial, that people will be driven into different galleries. It's going to be a different experience than it's been in the past, but I think a good one.
Any other questions? Thank you. We're going to move down to Chi. Is there any other?
Excuse me, through the chair, since we amended the agenda to add the distribution of the small business tax exemption item, we need our attorney to speak to that item. So that would be, now we're on number 3.
Yeah, I understand that we're in the process of opening a new bank account. And that's the only real knowledge I have on it. I noticed that this is being done through the Department of Treasury's revenue sharing and grant section. So we're in the process of opening a bank account. I've had some contacts with that section in the past. I'm primarily a labor lawyer, so we look forward to working with Felicia, but we can make the contacts there if there's anything else we need. Well, I'm sure there is the things we need to move in that direction, but other than we're in the process of opening the bank account or establishing, I really can't report anything at this time.
Any questions?
I have a question. So when you open this bank account, the name on the bank account will be the Wayne County Art Institute Authority. And then how many signers will be on that account?
My sense is, like most accounts, we would need just two, which would be the chair and the vice chair. That is what I believe. I can't confirm that, solidly now, but I believe that it would just be two. It would be two. It's going to be in the name of the authority, but that would be my sense. Would be the chair and the vice chair.
Okay, thank you.
The chair or the treasurer? I mean, normally it should be 3 signatures on it.
I could, I would check on that. I can check on that. Maybe it's a required for 3. Most of the ones I dealt with have been 2, but I will check on that. And if we need 3, obviously we would put that together.
Through the chair, this parking situation that you're working on, I guess that's part of the reason we get an account. How did you all decide this was going to be done? If it's not completed until next year, that's when we will be compensated for ongoing, or is that for past meetings from the time that we decided that we wanted to be compensated for parking? Did you all make a decision about that?
I don't know of a decision from a legal perspective. There's no reason it cannot be retroactive.
Okay. I know we hadn't completed the conversation, but thank
No,
you.
there's no reason it can't be retroactive if that's the ultimate decision by the board.
They attended the meeting, yes, and we have a record of all of us that attended the meeting. Thank you.
Anything else?
Through the chair, I just want to, this small business tax that it will be receiving, we don't know how much, is through the Michigan Department of Treasury. That's not dealing with the parking situation, is it? Isn't it a separate
They're
thing? Okay,
separate.
I just want to make sure. Okay, very good. Thank you.
Gonna move down to G. Is there any matters that was properly submitted?
I'm unaware of it.
No. H, public comments. Do we have any comments? Online?
I'm checking Zoom now. There were no public comments received via email. Let me see if there's anyone on Zoom wishing to make a comment.
Through the chair, I would like to appear before the Sumter Township Board. And I'd like to take packets because we're not getting much activity at all from Sumter. And it's a small rural community, the last one in Wayne County. And I would like to appear and take packets of this stuff to introduce them, because I don't see any activity at all between Sumter and the DIA. And I think I could make that a priority. And so if I could get packets of information to pass out to the board and get on their agenda.
Yeah, thank you. I can do that for you. And in the immediate term, I have extras. There's some materials in your packet, like the program calendar and our artworks to inspire. I have extras of those. So if you have someone or a group in mind that might want a stack of these on their front desk or in a kiosk,
Yes.
I have some with me. I can get you after the meeting.
Is it possible to do a digital form of this in the safety of my daughter's future of this planet? Could you guys, because in that case, Sumter, I've got to go down to Sumter next week. But Could you guys create a digital form of this for it to be?
As far for the quarterly calendar, I mean, everything in here, it could be found on our website in the digital form. We do have a program calendar on our website. This is an attempt to meet those groups that might be a little, maybe less digitally inclined, where we can get something physical in their hands. But yeah, the programs in here are going to be found on our website too.
No public?
This is August. We also could find the upcoming ones online that look like this for September.
This will, yeah, you're right. This does expire. This is our, this quarter is coming to an end. We'll reprint a new quarter and distribute that soon. And yeah, all of those events, if they're in here, that means they're locked in and they're on our website as
Yeah, I
well.
got beat up with the last stack you gave me.
Yeah.
Everybody reads what they shouldn't be reading.
Yeah.
You didn't see the date, Lolita? I said, there's some good stuff in there. Read
There-
it anyway.
There is, yeah, depending on when we meet, yeah, the dates on this might be a little tight, but there's still some good stuff coming up in August, so it's expiring pretty soon though. But yeah, we'll have another.
Thank
Through the
you.
chair, there was no one online wishing to make a public comment.
Thank you. Is there anything pertaining else to this body? Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Motion to adjourn. Motion to adjourn.
Support.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting adjourned.